Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Commotion, and I'm Roshan Joshi. And today we have another segment in EarthShakers. So we have a great guest here with us today to interview. So if you like any of our content, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you slam that subscribe button. And if you like any of the music that you hear, make sure you check out Be the Human. His info is in the description below. So, welcome. Today we have self-made man, entrepreneur, family man, right out of the heart of Jersey and Newark. We have Mr. Malcolm Egun. How are you doing today, Malcolm?
Doing good. I'm doing good, Roche. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming, man. I know right now is a very crazy time going on in America. So
Yeah,
you have a
absolutely.
whole entire family. You have 2 kids. So really happy that you
Yep.
were able to just take out time and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and tell everybody kind of the journey that you've been on and what it's like to create your own business and or found and be a CEO of your own business.
Sure. So for everybody that doesn't know me, my name is Malcolm Egun. I am the founder and the CEO of a company called Frogshop. Exactly how it sounds. Basically, we operate more like an e-commerce agency for fitness brands across the world. So let's say if you're a private gym, a public gym, like a franchise, even a boutique fitness studio, you could be a lifestyle brand, whatever have you. We would partner with brands like such and get them online to sell e-commerce, basically.
Okay. And that's it's very interesting right off the bat because well, before we even go too far into Frog Shop and kind of the inception, let's just talk about today. Currently, the world is in a bit of a crisis mode, um,
Yes, absolutely.
and businesses are not resuming for a bit of time. So, like, how has it been running an e-commerce business?
Mhm.
And for the layman, e-commerce is having you know what? I'll let you even break that down. But how is it running an e-commerce business in today's economic climate?
Sure. So e-commerce actually is a recession-proof business model. And the reason why I say recession-proof is because it is a fully digital platform or fully digital business model, meaning that there's no requirement to have face-to-face or interpersonal interaction. Business can be transacted and operated strictly 100% online. Um, for those that don't know what e-commerce is, e-commerce stands for electronic commerce. Commerce is, again, the transaction of goods from, let's say, a retail operation. It could be a restaurant. It could be anything. That's what e-commerce is. If you look at a business such as Amazon, they are 100% e-commerce driven. Every time you go online and you look at, let's see, an inventory or a category of goods, such as, apparel, toiletries, technology, anything, vitamins, supplements, anything that you find on Amazon, that's all considered e-commerce. So we have actually adopted that business model and just applied it to the health and fitness industry.
Which is very interesting for me to hear because as the layman, as the consumer, uh, I would think that health and fitness are things that you have to be very physically there for. It's a very client trainer person gym, or obviously I'm just umbrellaing under one thing, but very client service based, business driven. So how have you taken a very interpersonal uh, relationship between client and provider and kind of put it on an online platform?
During my initial research of the industry, I noticed it was a huge gap in terms of getting the retail side of the business, fully operational. If you go to your local, 24-hour fitness, Planet Fitness, Retro Fitness, it doesn't matter the gym, it could be
Hmm.
Joe's Fitness, whatever. Um, One thing that they all have in common is that there's always like a vitamin or a supplement or a bunch of goods that has a long shelf life. These items stay. on the shelf for weeks at a time, sometimes months. And, it's depressing for an owner because, you're putting up 5 to 10 grand of your own money that you're buying inventory and you hope to make a return on that. So when, those items are not selling, you're kind of looking like, okay, why did I do this? I just wasted $10,000, right? So in doing my research, I noticed that this was a common trend across a multitude of different gyms. And I figured, what if they were to marry e-commerce with this particular, this niche, this industry? So in doing my research, I noticed that a lot of gyms, didn't really heavily invest in this model. Like you had a couple of gyms that may have like a very small shop where, you might have a shirt or two, maybe a water bottle, a lock, anything that, could possibly be picked up at a gym or as needed at a gym, headphones.
A shaker. Yeah, no.
Yeah, stuff like that. So all those common goods that are sold there, they're not moving. And the reason why is because people are not going to shop at a gym, right?
Yeah. So, no, as you said earlier, I'll go on Amazon. I'll get my shaker. I'll get my creatine. I'll get all that stuff on Amazon.
Yeah. So, when I noticed this, I said, all right, I spoke to a lot of trainers, a lot of gym owners, and they all said the same thing. Bro, Amazon has that on lock. Amazon has that on lock. There's no point in even investing in that. But I said, but you have what Amazon wants. You have a highly concentrated hub of members, of customers.
Ooh, okay, I see.
Gyms have like what, 2,000-3,000 members on average that subscribes to their gym. You have a whole email list of people that you can sell to monthly. They're already giving you their money. They're giving you $10, $20, $30 per month. So why not get an extra $50 to $100 out of them per month from buying goods?
Absolutely. So, on product that's just sitting there.
Yeah, so basically, and breaking it down like that, I basically decided to create like an agency that would have a platform that would basically integrate the gyms, their business online. So basically, the e-commerce store will be customized and kind of white labeled to their branding, and they can easily kind of migrate their services that is existing in person or in the physical realm of things to the digital realm.
That's genius. That's borderline genius. That's extremely intelligent. That's really smart. You gave a platform for all of these gyms because obviously they are not they're not utilizing it. They're not reaching out to their membership base properly.
Yeah.
Everybody's always on the internet. And once you already have some type of brand loyalty, if you're going to a certain gym, you're probably going to get their stuff if it's an easy available access to get it. And it's great that like it seems like you didn't really have to worry about inventory or any of that because it was already the owner's inventory.
Yeah, and not even that. Actually, so the biggest thing with e-commerce is drop shipping. Drop shipping is where you basically will...
Yeah, tell me a little about that, just because I constantly hear the words drop shipping. I have no clue what that actually means.
Sure. So drop shipping basically means that there's a supplier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe just want to manufacture and supply goods, but they want to have outreach to a mass number of individuals. So what they would do is they'll actually hire you, or I guess partner with you as an affiliate, where you basically take an image, like a high-res photo of their item, post it on your website. A customer purchased that item. You basically take the funds that are the proceedings that are being utilized to purchase that item, and you buy it for the customer at a wholesale price.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
So when you buy it at a wholesale price, all you're doing is basically transmitting that information over to the supplier, and then they ship it out from their warehouse.
Interesting. So you're a middleman in a sense.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
There's a lot of learning going on here right now.
Yeah. So I mean, truth be told, this was a no-brainer for many gyms. But what I noticed is that I was met initially with a lot of resistance because I believe they didn't understand it. Like they knew it existed, but they kept having the pessimistic mindset that, oh, Amazon is in control. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Amazon dominates literally almost every industry known to man. But the one thing that Amazon cannot do is they cannot take away a brand's loyalty. You know, there's a reason why people still shop from other customers, because that customer is loyal to that brand. They may shop from Amazon from time to time, but they will never stop shopping from that brand. So when gyms realize this, they realize like, okay, you know what? They are already paying me every month. If I just have items that are maybe exclusive, that are maybe can only be found at my location or on my storefront, absolutely, I will be able to get an extra $50 to $100 a month from that customer. So
essentially, you gave power back to the people, man.
exactly.
You gave power back to the people. You gave power back to the business owners that
Yep.
are not able to technically compete with these high end companies like Amazon. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I love it. So, how long ago did you incept and did you come up with Frogshop?
The inception of Frogshop arrived in 2017. About I think it was in April of 2017. The business initially started off as a prototype. So I initially created like a prototype of a particular, like it was just like, you know, a small little marketplace where people can kind of scroll on a mobile app.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I realized how expensive it was to create a mobile app and how much, you know, time it takes, you know, to get it right, I decided to use a third-party plugin, which I won't name at the moment. But basically, that third-party plugin that I decided to use, you know, has all the bells and whistles needed to kind of get things running, you know. And basically, from there, I was able to, you know, quickly get customers. I was able to kind of, you know, prove the concept in a very fast and rapid fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that led me to getting my first two investors on board.
That is awesome. So you literally you incepted it and you grounded up, proved your concept, had a concept, proved the concept, and were able to pitch that concept to people to get funding for it.
Yes.
Incredible. So I see a Drexel hat on. What's up, man? Did you go there?
No. My wife actually she graduated and got her master's from there. So she did her graduate program there.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I just like to wear hats from time to time, you know.
What's up with you, man? What did you do? How did you kind of get into? Did you have a business background or?
Yeah. So I did my undergrad at Penn State. You know, we are for everybody that is a Penn State person. So I did my undergrad at Penn State. I studied communications. So that's like the closest major you can have to business.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get into the business school, so I decided to study communications. Then when I went into the working world after graduation, I took a job at an advertising agency, but it was very short-lived. It wasn't for me, basically. So I decided to take on a sales job afterwards, and that kind of birthed my my undenying love for business. So a year after that, in 2013, I went back to school and got my MBA. So I went and started my MBA, and that's where I
Gee,
really laid the foundation for my education. Yeah,
that is a lot of work. How long ago was this?
So I graduated my MBA program in 2015. So about 5 years ago.
Not even that long ago. How old is your son?
My son is 4. He's gonna be 5. So when I
Okay.
graduated, it was actually I think 5 or 6 months pregnant with our child. So
That's just so many different things just stacking on top of each other, brother.
yeah.
A lot of balance, a lot of maintenance, a lot of I can only imagine sleepless nights because
Yeah.
not only are you growing your own business, but you are maintaining a family as well, which is insane for me as somebody that doesn't have one. I look at it like, yo, I don't even know how I have enough time to do anything as a bachelor. How the heck am I gonna figure out to carve out time when I have 2 kids?
Yeah.
How do you have enough hours in a day? Because I know you work out and stuff too. I know you do a little bit of Muay Thai here and there. I know that you do a lot. Your day doesn't seem like a 24-hour day most of the time.
This is my schedule. Let me see if you can see it.
Oh, geez, that's just one day. Oh, you got
Yeah.
a couple of pins on where you got to show up too.
Yeah. So I just try to find pockets during the day where, I devote family time. I devote time to work on my business. I devote time to, talk to customers and just, like just read, get some downtime. I think that once you have that control of your own time, that's when it's really, really, really a blessing. If I had like a 9 to 5, something that where I'm there for like 10 hours a day, it would be unrealistic for me to do what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Something that you said earlier is that you started on like an advertising company and you kind
Yeah.
of felt like that wasn't for you. That kind of seems like how it goes for most entrepreneurs. They dive out into that structured 9 to 5 world and they're like, it's not really me. Listen, I have no problem working hard and long, but I just can't do it in your gates or your boundaries. And most of the
Yeah.
time, that's when people find out that that's not what they like to do.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Like for me, so like when I think I was like about 20, like 23, I think I was.
How old are you
I
right
know
now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 30. I'll be 31 in July. So next month.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you've done, and I guys, I want you to just, and this is another huge thing. Take into consideration the amount of growth that this man had prior to 30. So doing it all. I mean,
Yeah.
hats off to
Yeah.
you.
It
No,
was,
no,
it
no.
was
But I
very
just
accelerated.
the big thing is the big thing for me is, and this is why I love this segment because we get to meet so many different types of people. But it's like that grind, that thought process, that hustle, that mentality. It really is inspiring for a lot of people as well. So like when people see guys like you, people see guys like Cult Studios, they know, all right, well, it's possible, it's doable, and you're like a very good structure for that. So
Yeah.
but a lot of this under 30. He's 30 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man, I'll be 31 in a couple of weeks. And
Who like influences you? How did you kind of get into this path? Who's like the guy that like opened up your eyes and you were like, holy crap, this is something that I can see myself in the realm of and being successful in?
when I was so basically I told you I worked at stranger sales jobs. The highlight of my career was when I got a job on Wall Street. So um, when I went on Wall Street is when I was also in school. I was doing my MBA and I was finishing up. I had about a year to go. I started like really, really, really understanding how the stock market worked and how to invest. And I picked up a lot of mentors along the way. There was one mentor that he gave me a book. The book was basically, I forgot the title of the book, but basically it was a book about a kid who had a father who basically was the 9 to 5er, but his mentor, the guy that kind of led him to becoming an entrepreneur, was an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
The guy was a very successful businessman, but very like humble. He didn't flaunt his money. The guy had just endless wealth. So the kid basically, took a liking to this dude and basically shadowed him. Basically learned how his day was. The guy would wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. He would go fishing. He would meditate. He would go for a jog, and then he would, work on some business deals, emails. He would eat. He would again meditate, rest, and he would do it all over the next day. So the guy that gave me the book was an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? He was very like humble. He saw something in me. He basically was like, I know you're working this job right now, but I can tell that you're ambitious and you're going to go far in life. He just literally told me that. Like, I was working, I forgot where I was working at, but I was, transacting whatever he was basically telling me to help him do. And he said, you're going to go very far in life. If I'm talking to you, you seem like you have a leadership go getter mentality. And I want you to read this book. And when you read the book, take the information that the kid got from the mentor. That's all he said. And I never saw him again. Literally never saw him again.
Well, clearly you had a good eye. Holy
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So this was back when I was like 23. Yeah, like 23, 24. So basically, after reading that book, I basically was just like, okay, I know what I need to do now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not cut out for a corporate job. I need to figure out how to, start on this path. And one thing that kind of led me to really putting the fire into my ass with that was I kept getting fired. Every job I had, man, was something weird. Like I either would get, kind of like blackballed and wouldn't be able to move up.
Mhm.
I would get fired all the time. Something always irrational would just happen. Like, like it was just so weird. And
Trust me, I know. And sometimes you're forced by just the economics of the friggin' world. Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
not really much you can fucking do about it. I get
exactly.
it. I've been laid off before, man. I know how it be.
Yeah. So basically, that happened, and I was just like, I was at a point where I was just like, I don't know what to do anymore, Lord. Like, you made me to be a free thinker, but I keep being I'm ending up in the same position, the
Mhm.
same corporate, chokehold, and I was over it, to be honest. So uh, I was introduced to an opportunity. It was another job, but it was a startup, and basically the startup gave me an opportunity to work for them as a salesman. Now, the irony in this is that I got fired from the startup too. But basically, the startup, that's where I learned how to actually build a business from scratch. I was able to learn the grind. I was able to learn how to put,
Oh, from the ground up.
yeah. So that's how I learned how to do the things I'm doing now. It gave me a crash course, actually, how to put pieces together, how to understand systems, technology, automation, all of that, high level stuff. I was able to learn from there, and I was only there for 9 months. So I took that knowledge and I implemented that to my business.
Yeah, you took
That's
and
where
you
I am. So from
ran.
that, yeah, from that point on, I never looked back. I am a financial advisor outside of my business, so I do manage a book of business, like a book of clients. But I don't work for nobody. I'm my own boss, so I'm just contracted as an independent contractor. So
It's quite the journey so far, man. That's
yeah,
quite.
yeah, a lot of closed doors, man. It sucked.
Dude, trust me, I get that. I mean, and sometimes it's just out of your control. It's not even. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes you could just be, straight up jerk, but sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's just your environment that kicks you in the butt. But
yep,
the one thing that you did every single time was you picked yourself up one more time, then you got kicked down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love that. What was one of the? I see that you have like a lot of discipline in your life. I see that you um kind of used your experience to help you navigate to where you're at right now. What's like one of the best realizations that you've had? It was like one thing that was like eureka, light bulb, holy crap.
I think the eureka moment was when I created Frogshop, and when I pitched it to some people, like business people, important people, they were like, "You're onto something." There's one guy who was one of my mentors, multi-millionaire from New York City. He literally said to me, like, he sat me down, took me to breakfast, and he said, "You're going to be a millionaire from this. I'm telling you this right now." He said, "If you stay the course,
Stay the
you
course.
follow my direction, you follow you basically just trust the process." He said, "You will become a millionaire." And that's when it kind of hit me like, okay, this is not something that's just a hobby no more. This is like real life. This business has, paid me a lot, in terms of knowledge, but it's also opened so many doors. I've met so many people that I never would have met in my lifetime, and I know that I have a long way to go in order to get it to where I want it to be. But I just have a feeling that, this is going to end up being something legendary, and I'll be able to one day, speak to like the world about, my story. You know what I'm saying? So,
Bro, you've already started.
yeah, I mean, I just have a weird feeling, it's like, I'm a very spiritual person. So I feel like I'm in tune with the universe,
Hmm.
and the universe tells me a lot of signs that, one day I'm going to be on a huge platform talking about this to like millions of people. Like, it's going to be crazy.
And that platform is called the Commotion, because you will come back and eventually that will come on, man, I gotta do a little self plug in too. No, but I totally get that as well. And here's the big thing is like taking action. All right. You can feel a certain type of way. You can project a certain type of energy. You can attract certain types of things in your life. But if you are not an active person and you do not jump on your opportunities, and if you do not proactively try to do things, then you know it's all for naught. So the fact that you are on course, that you're staying consistent, and that you're keeping the steady growth, 10 steps ahead, man. 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Not even 31 yet. Jeez. So we've done a lot of like good foundation. Why don't you tell me a little bit about like some adversity that, oh, you know what? You kind of did though. I was going to ask you about like adversity that you felt, but I figured getting fired all the time is some adversity, but if you got some more, let me know.
I got a lot more. I mean, I'll say my 20s was my hardest years for me, because when I was younger, I kind of was like always number one in terms of class. Like, I was the valedictorian of my 8th grade class. I went to high school. Yeah, my valedictorian of my eighth grade class. High school, I graduated with like a 3.0 grade point average. It was just very like, okay, he's here. He graduated on time. He had good honors, whatever. So when I got spit into the real world, and I realized that it didn't matter what you had in college, what you had in high school, it was a shell shock for me, right? Now, I knew I was very optimistic. I was a hustler, but I didn't know that corporate America had so many passive aggressive and just miserable people.
You mean just people? Absolutely.
Yeah, you meet a lot of people. So when I first graduated and I got my job at the advertising agency, I saw that firsthand. I mean, my own boss told me while I was working for it that, yeah, you're just not advertising material. You're not going to make it here. Like, he literally told me on the phone, bro. Like, literally told me you're not advertising material. And that was the most like, that shit just, it kind of, something died in me that day. Like, literally, I realized that, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. Like, I literally, from that point on, I just basically told her, like, I don't even care. Like, I'm just going to walk out. And I did. And, I held that grudge for a long time with those folks there, because I felt like the way they handled me was just bad. And I wasn't the only one. I know it had to be color related, because I was like one out of maybe 3 African Americans in the entire organization.
Brother, that's adversity in and of itself. And that's actually a conversation I do want to dive into a little deeper, like towards the end.
Yeah. So basically, man, like I said, something died in me that day, and I kind of like just grew into like a person who was not going to give up no matter what, because I didn't want them to win. As bad as I wanted them to win, I didn't want them to see me lose. So that made me go back to school, get my MBA in marketing, advertising. So I'm able to master marketing. And basically, I told them, like, whatever I'm going to do, even if I struggle, I'm not going to give up, because at the end of the day, I look at their LinkedIn pages all the time. Like, I'm a competitor where, I have like that killer instinct that no matter what, I'm going to beat you somehow.
That fire, that drive.
Yeah. That's me 100%. So, as my business grows, I always go to their LinkedIn page and I see what they're doing. And if I see that they're doing something, I try to win up.
I love it. I love it, man. Yo, they put the ultimate chip on your shoulder. Listen, I get that. I understand that completely. I walked out of a job one time because management called me a little bitch. And I was like, oh, what you just call me? I'm out the door. Literally walked out. Ever since then, and that was like early on in my career, and ever since then, I always keep tabs on who was around, who mistreated me. And I'm like, eventually, as I grew past them, that inner drive. So I get it, man. I love that.
Yep.
And that chip on the shoulder really develops a human being into, like, in my brain, I always look at things as like a champion mindset might be in different facets. MJ had a champion mindset. Tyson had champion mindset. It's different things. And I think in business and in entrepreneurship, that champion mindset gets you far. Gary Vee has champion mindset. That champion mindset is just a totally different fire framework where it's like, yeah, you hit me in the face and a little bit of blood pours out, but instead of being a little bitch about it, you smile, you taste it, you smile, and you're like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, man. I mean, besides that, that wasn't the only, times of failure I had. Like in my 20s, I just kept getting fired, kept getting, the rug pulled from under my feet. Like it was always just something, broke, always in debt, all these different things. It's just like out of my control. And like I said, I'm a very spiritual guy. I started kind of understanding like, my purpose in my past life and, all of my kind of karmic traits that led up to my identity. And I realized that those really, I don't want to try to, sell you a story, but this is something that was really revealed to me. I was told that I was the chosen one to break the generational curses of finance, like of wealth in my family. So I was the one that, I'm the one that is going to one day have an enormous amount of wealth that I'm going to be able to distribute to generations to come, to my generation and generations to come. And my plan is basically to, to make that happen, but to teach, my children, his generation, their generation, to kind of repeat that cycle.
Absolutely. Give them that financial acumen, give them that drive and that fire as well.
So that's the reason why I think I had to endure such suffering in my 20s because, it was hard. I mean, literally, I've given up many times. Like I literally said, all right, this is not meant for me to do. So I might as well just say, fuck it. But every time I try giving up, I'm telling you, God would just be like, no, here you go. You're going to be back in there. I'm not going to let you give up. So yeah, this is where I am now, man.
I love that. No, it's, I'm big on manifesting your own destiny. I'm big on energy that you put out, you will receive back in some way, shape, or form. If not, then karmically something will happen. Or you just didn't deserve it. Or, sometimes life sucks. But I love the fact that you are not just putting your current family on your back, but you are trying to build something for the last name Egun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pull a Kevin Hart over here, man. Another championship mindset.
Yeah. So we have the same birthday.
Do you really?
Yeah, me, Kevin Hart, and 50 Cent. Yeah, we all have the same birthday.
Okay. All right, yo. So, and you kind of touched upon this, and now I kind of want to go into let's go a little bit into your past first. You're out of Newark. You said you're pretty good in school growing up. How is that, by the way? Because I want to go from your past into bring it into just your professional life. How is it growing up in Newark? How do you feel like your environment either helped or hurt you? And what do you feel like, even like where your family very supportive, so on and so forth, all that good stuff.
Growing up in any urban proximity, you exposed to a lot of demons and a lot of things that can traumatize you. For me, by the grace of God, my mom and my dad kept me away from like a lot of like, I guess, the streets influence.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, I didn't fall victim to the streets, I was raised in the streets. When I was 8 years old, I saw my first dead body right in front of my house. Like literally, there was a stoop right here, and there was a gate like within 50 feet of where I live. Literally behind that gate was a shirt, and I walked up to it, and it was just a person just laying down like this. And I didn't understand. I thought the person was just like chilling. So I'm talking to the person. The person's not moving. I'm like, mommy. So I went in the house. I'm like, mommy, look, there's a person sleeping. She's like, oh my God, go back inside. And then they call the cops. I see the yellow tape. And they're like, yeah, this person is dead. And when they told me that, I didn't understand. So then my mom broke it down to me and was like, people live and, die. So I think where we lived was very like drug infested, like Newark, just like Baltimore, Harlem in the 70s and 80s, any type of like urban neighborhood, inner city neighborhood was prone to a lot of drug use, and Newark was on the forefront of that. So there's a lot of like, heroin addicts, crack addicts. That was rampant. Like everywhere you went in Newark around my neighborhood, you saw one. So that person was the result of an overdose that I saw, and it was pretty crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was wild growing in Newark, man. I myself um, witnessed gun violence. I was almost a victim of gun violence, and I wasn't even a person that was in the streets. I was a bookworm. So what I did to kind of combat that is every summer I would try to like get a job far away. Like when I graduated high school during my college years, I wouldn't get an internship. I would just get a job like, in upstate New York. I would work at this summer camp. I mean, this college preparatory camp. And, it was all the way in Geneva, New York. It was like a month long, like 6 weeks long. Like it was just, I felt like it was paradise because, it was just like a different thing I dormed in. It was just like a blessing. And those summers that I was gone, I used to come back home and hear so many stories about this person got killed, this person's locked up, this person is no longer with us. It was just crazy.
No,
So, I thank my mom and I thank, those opportunities that God had to get me out of here because it exposed me to a lot of different things.
I was gonna say, like, that's wonderful parenting right there. They made sure that they put you in a successful environment and kind of kept you out of the fucking normality of the street, man. The normality of MLK Boulevard or Central or the whole nine.
Exactly where I grew up.
Dude, I worked on MLK. I literally had I used to work at a hookah shop when I was probably like 18. Literally homeless people, crackheads all the time. It was an outdoor shop, and you had an entrance that you can come in. There were no walls. We were all outside. So literally, homies would be just wasted walking in. And I'd be like, yo, you gotta dip, bro. Like sometimes it'd be cool. Sometimes we'd just be, there's certain guys on the streets that like we were real cool with because they're classy. They did their thing. So we'd set them up with a hookah, give them a little thing so that like they would be doing their thing because whatever, they didn't bother us. But then you got the real cracked out people that were just like bugging so hard. And it was like, bruh, if you don't step out, like we're gonna have to push you the hell out. And when that happens, things just get really wild, man. So I know that MLK little area, man, that Green Street, the whole nine is just or James Street. I'm sorry, James, that whole nine is just wild. So that's why I always look at you and I'm like, holy hell. That is so, but I mean, but that's like the average struggle, it is unfortunately people become product of their environments by environments that they were forced into, that nobody fucking said, hey, let's put us here. And then what happens is you grow into this repetitious cycle, and that's extremely vicious. You don't have your environment to be able to help you out, and you become a product of it. So it's interesting. I mean, and right now we are in a time where the silence is finally getting broken. Everybody is talking more about racism. Everybody is talking more about what's going on with the movement, with Black Lives Matters, with Black people getting a shot, man, getting a shot at what everybody else gets a shot at, the normality. You said before, like there was some race driven. I mean, of course, listen, and on a personal level, I would never, ever, ever compare. I am a minority, but I would never compare because they're just not something that you can compare. It's not, I would never compare a brown person struggles in America to a Black person struggles in America. You can't compare the two. It's not comprehensible. So it's not one of those things where we sit there trying to compare. We try to vocalize and we try to talk about how things can get better, and the only way we can do that is by having these conversations. But yeah, man, I mean, like right now there is the movement going on. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel? What do you think would be? There obviously isn't a fix to 400 years off the top of somebody's head, but what do you think would be a direction that we can start going in, even if it is just having these conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I think these conversations need to be had and held on a consistent basis. I think that we've witnessed police brutality, murder, um, all of these different kind of heinous acts for decades. I mean, for generations, bro. I mean, from the '60s, the '50s, the '40s.
Segregation wasn't even that
there's been
long
so
ago.
much. Yeah, like what I'm saying, it's been happening so much that
Bro,
it's like so common.
bro, they were doing stop and frisk like
Shown to the
less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's been shown to the world, to the masses now that with the help of social media, that now everybody around the world can see. I mean, you got people in China, Japan protesting what's going on here with police brutality because it's happened so much that people are sick of it. So, those emotions that have been suppressed for so long are now like they can't be controlled. And there's nothing that the government can do about it. So I think that, we need to totally just, destroy the judicial system within America and rebuild it from the ground up. I think that that's the first step. We need to really just kind of like rip the pages out, you know, take all the bylaws out and start off with new, fresh ones in 2020. I mean, rules are meant to be changed after, centuries and different things to come. Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
think
You
that,
adapt and you grow.
yeah, I think that needs to happen. And, police officers need to be kind of held accountable for the ones that are bad. They need to be held accountable for with really strict consequences. If I go out and murder a man, if you go out and murder a man, that's like 25 to life, easy, right? If a police officer murders a man or woman, it should be
So
25 to life.
it shouldn't be an administrative leave with some cash coming in while you're on a
Yeah,
vacation.
like
So one thing for me when it comes to the rebuild, or if I'm with you. I think that you need to kind of tear down what we have in play right now, and we need to rebuild it properly.
yeah,
The big thing that always gets me on a personal level is how the hell are you? Do you need 7 years, because 4 years of bachelor and 3 years of law school, to be a lawyer to defend the law? But you need what, like 6 to 9 months of police academy to enforce it with a
yeah,
gun?
yeah. Definitely is a loophole, man.
Should have been it should be like an elite level position where you're
Yeah,
like, all right, well, we've put in, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years of just straight training before you even go in. You make a solid amount of money because the amount of training that goes into it. And then the accountability needs to be there too, because it's like, all right,
yeah,
well, now you're in an elite level position. You've been trained for years, but you mess this up, you go down. There's
yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts. There's not a lot of gray areas.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. So I think that's what needs to happen, bro.
So as like a father, because then you do have two kids, like, so
Right.
on a personal level, like I'm engaged right now. We're talking about obviously our future. We're talking about when we get married and when we have kids and stuff like that. And something that I've always said, and now it's kind of even coming more into light, is I have to always, like, monthly, I'm gonna have to go over how to talk to cops, how to go through the processes of even leaving an airport. I've been stopped leaving an airport and they ask for my paperwork. And it's like, bro, you can't do that. And luckily I
Yeah,
was smart enough to know that they couldn't do that. But
yeah,
how to navigate this world, because that's a whole entire different factor. It's like, it's not as easy as being like, oh well, be nice and be respectful and say yes sir, no sir, and they'll leave you alone, because
yeah,
that's not how it works. um
yeah.
so how do you feel, since you're already kind of there, you do have kids, like how do you feel like you have to, as a black man in America, kind of have to teach them how to raise them to be able to deal with a situation like that may occur with an officer, or even just live it?
I mean, yeah, and teaching my kids. I mean, right now my kids are pretty young. My
Yep.
daughter's 3 months, my son is 4. But I'm teaching my son, his nationality. I'm letting him know that he is a black man. His wife. I mean, excuse me, my wife is Dominican. So she's Latina. but we all come from the same, African roots. So I let him know, like, you're an African American male in this nation, and you have a target on your back. You got to always remember that the cops are looking at you. Statistically, you're designed to fail, right? But um, basically, with my teaching, you're not going to fail. You're going to succeed because I know how to navigate in this world. As a black man. Here's a little story for me. I've dealt with, not police brutality, but discrimination on 2 occasions. The first occasion, I was, I think, 16 or 17. I went to the city with my friends, 2 of my friends, and I didn't have an ID on me at the time. So I jumped the turnstile. Turnstile just requires a summons, right?
Yeah.
So,
And you're a kid.
yeah, I jumped the turnstile, and there was an undercover there. The undercover stopped us, basically said, I need IDs for everybody. I said, sir, I don't have any ID. Like, I'm only 16. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, you don't have any ID. We got to take you in. So, the guy frisked me, put me on the wall with my other cousin, put handcuffs on me, and literally, like, made me do the walk of shame, bro, like, to the police car. He put me in a police car. Like, people were looking at me, seeing what I did or whatever. He let one of my other friends go because he had an ID on him. But they, what I'm saying? They put me in a police car with my cousin. They put me into a holding cell with other guys, 16 years old though, you know what I'm saying?
Jesus
Like other
Christ.
guy committed armed robberies, all of this different stuff. And literally I'm waiting for my parents to come get me. They're like, yeah, if your parents don't come get you, man, we're gonna go to central bookings.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got to go to county or some shit.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, I heard about that from rap songs. I'm like, I'm not trying to go there. So I'm like, yo, I'm praying to God my mother comes and gets me. So finally my parents arrived and they're livid. They think I did something. I'm like, I just jumped the turnstile. So my dad was pissed. My mom was pissed. I felt like shit. But then they sat down with me, or my dad sat down with me and told me, like, basically you were racially discriminated. Clearly, you're a good kid. You don't have a criminal record, but they decided to bring you into holding for what?
Exactly. Which could have turned into going to county if your parents were out of town or something.
Yeah. Like, I could have been in a county, bro. Like, for, what I'm saying? Fucking around. They could have put me there for a week until I see a judge. So,
yeah.
That happened. But luckily I was, unharmed. The second time I was in college. I was a freshman in college, and I came home for winter break. I was in a car with 3 of my other friends. My friend is driving. A cop pulled us over. It was a union, actually, New Jersey.
Oh, union. And, yeah.
A cop pulled us over. Basically, it was like, yeah, we were just, we noticed that you were speeding. We weren't speeding. But basically, he was like, step out the car, please. And
you're driving while black.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell did we do? So, he's like, step out the car, please. And we stepped out the car. They put us all in the hood, searched us, couldn't find anything. And then basically was like, yeah, just, make sure you slow it down. And they drove off. So I'm like, so my
pull you out the car for speeding.
Yeah. So my boy's heated. I'm heated. I'm just like, can you believe this? Like, they really just took us out the car for no reason. So, that second occasion, again, driving while black, just being black. So luckily for me, I've my dad is a probation officer. I know a lot of cops, so I know like how to talk to them,
Yeah.
So there's been many occasions where, I've been in situations where I've been pulled over, just different things where I talk my way out of it. And I'm just fortunate that I can tell this testimony today. Also, I'd have been on a shirt somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's really
and dude,
crazy.
you're a big dude too. Like, I don't know, our viewers can't really tell right now because of the this is a big man, guys. So like he is, the type of person that if you got a cop that has like an ego problem in front of him, they're gonna, you always get picked on for being big. Probably people always try to test you. That would have been
absolutely.
That would have been one of those times, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very, interesting time that we are living in right now. But it's good to have these conversations to be able to try to try to there's no way we're mopping up what's going on, but at least the best that we can do to be able to inform people, to have these conversations, to be able to inform people that you shouldn't be scared to have these conversations. These are the conversations that are going to help everybody grow. A big thing that I love that you said is you are teaching your son your culture. That's huge.
Yeah, yeah,
Like other than being like, oh, there's no such thing as color or culture. It's like, no, get
yeah,
really into your roots, man. Understand where we came from. I'm even talking to myself because I'm very invested in my roots as well. Um, and my fiance is Mexican, so our kids were gonna try
yeah,
to
yeah.
like, it's either, oh, you're just American, or hey man, we got to really just dive in deep to two cultures and really teach you what the hell's going down.
Exactly.
So I love that
Yep, yep.
you want to teach the culture, because rather than just being another, oh, I'm just another American, it's like, no, you're just so much more than that.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, man. We're kind of getting there on time, but I want to ask you a couple more things. We're gonna go right back into Frogshop mode.
Sure.
um,
Sure.
Couple quick things. What do you think so far has been like the biggest lesson that you've learned on your path so far?
Biggest lesson. Good question. So, the biggest lesson that I've learned are is to uh, it's okay to be vulnerable, and what I mean by vulnerability is to receive help. Don't think that this journey is only for you to do everything, to be the jack of all trades. Like, absolutely not. I was able to learn how to delegate tasks and work through other people, bring out the best in other people, because it got to a point where I was so overwhelmed with work, from being a dad, being a husband, being a 9 to 5er when I was working a 9 to 5, trying to start a business. It was so many things I was trying to do, and I didn't realize that, damn, this is hard. So now I decided to invest in myself. I mean, not invest in myself. I decided to invest in others, and basically get them to do the work that I would normally do. And it's been so much of a blessing, so much like weight have been lifted off my shoulders, because now I can delegate that. I mean, I can put that time towards things that I were doing before on the business to other things to propel the business.
Yeah,
So it's been pretty helpful. Yeah. Learning how to just be vulnerable and just, receive the help that's being available to you.
I I love that, and that's a wonderful message as well. That it's never bad to take help, even if like you know some people uh, stay at home and have their parents help them out until they get their business off the ground. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Helps with expenses. It's more economic. Receiving help is never a bad thing. You have to be able to receive it, or that growth won't happen.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right, man. Do you have any final messages? And then if not, we're gonna go right into our rapid fire round. And yeah.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I mean, for any messages for anybody that's watching, definitely, if you have an idea, this is the time to do it. There's no such thing as tomorrow. You never know what tomorrow brings. I just lost a dear cousin of mine this week. She was only 29 years old, and she passed away. And that
Condolences, brother.
thank you. That really kind of made me realize that no day is promised. We got to live for the moment. We got to live for today. So whatever you have that's lingering in your heart and your mind, just go out and do it, man. It's okay to fall first, fall forward. That's something that somebody has told me before. Just learn as you go.
I like it. Nah, that's
Yeah,
advice I'm gonna take as well. Fall forward.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna jump right into the locomotion commotion. And I'm gonna hit you with a couple questions, nothing too deep, nothing too crazy. And yeah, just
Sure.
have a little fun. You're gonna give yourself some passive advice. What's it gonna be?
Be humble.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, be. Yeah.
Lunch with one person, dead or alive. Who we sitting with?
Dead or alive? Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say Malcolm X, man. That would be a powerful lunch.
that
Yeah.
that would be the meetings of the Malcolms, man.
Yeah. I think I would definitely have. It would be more so just me listening. I won't even eat. I'll just listen to this man talk. Like he was somebody different, bro. Yeah,
Like a
different.
sponge, man.
Yeah.
Love it. What is your? A lot of people have bad habits. What's your best habit?
Best habit. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, interesting. Best habit is I can literally make anybody laugh anywhere. Yeah, I have a very unique sense of humor. So I guess even when it's kind of awkward in a room, I can literally make anybody laugh in the room. Like I just kind of cut the tension with a knife. Yeah,
Bring the bring the bring the bring the smiles with you, man. Happy meals over here.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. If you had to eat one thing rest of your life, what are you eating?
I know it's bad for me, but I gotta say pizza.
Okay. What toppings?
uh, green peppers, onions, tomatoes, and maybe spinach.
Okay. A little garden
Yeah, for
salad.
greens. So yeah,
When the world is back to normal,
yeah.
where's the next place you want to travel?
Oh, man, when the world is back to normal, I do want to go to an island. I want to go
Okay.
to an island in the Caribbean, and then eventually maybe go to Africa, go see some fam. Yeah,
Nice. All right.
yeah,
I've been to the
and
Caribbean. It's pretty nice.
yeah. I've been to DR. I've been to Mexico. I mean, Mexico's not in the Caribbean, but I've been to DR. I want to go to Jamaica. I want to go to like some other islands like the
I went to
Virgin
like
Islands.
I went to Barbados once, but I went to like a weird island called Dominica, which is like
Oh
this.
yeah, Dominica.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was an
yeah.
interesting
I know.
one.
Yeah.
I visited from friends from college. So whenever I say that, everybody's like, wait, what? um, if you could only listen to 3 music artists for the rest of your days, who are they?
Who would I listen to?
Who would you listen to, Malcolm?
I would say definitely because of the versatility in his catalog and the messages. Jay-Z, definitely.
Okay.
Um, I gotta say Kanye West. The guy's musically just on a different level.
Dude, he rapped with his mouth, his jaw wired shut,
Yeah,
and did a whole song
just
on
the
it.
instrumentation. Yeah, the instrumentation of his music is just bar none the best. And let's see, I'll throw in somebody different. I don't know. I'm a big I love jazz.
Okay.
Love like different melodies like that. But I gotta say, man, the third artist. You know what? I'm gonna say this. The third artist will be Erica Badu.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say Erica Badu. Just
Um,
because I love that jazz feel to her music. Yeah,
I like it. That soul right there.
yeah. You need that.
Um, you you sitting down with whiskey. You sitting down with the cigar at the end of the night after a long
Yeah.
one. That's the question.
Um, if I'll say both. Yeah, I'll say
Love
both.
it.
I can't have one or the other. Yeah,
No, it's a good pairing. Absolutely.
yeah,
That was actually the
yeah,
right answer. That's the only one that had the right answer.
yeah, yeah.
I got 2 more for you. One's easy, one's little. Um, favorite sport?
Favorite sports. I gotta say, man, it's a tie between football and boxing. But if I really had to choose, maybe football.
Okay.
Yeah.
What team?
Sadly, I'm an Oakland Raiders fan. Diehard Oakland Raiders. But I do root for some of the home teams like the Giants or Jets. When I'm out. So
Go Jets.
you gotta show some love.
All right,
Yeah.
and we're gonna close it off with this one. How do you, Malcolm, define success?
I define success by having a peace of mind in what you do. So before, I always, kind of tied in success with monetary value. But in my life, I realized that money is good to have as a resource, but it's not something that you should be aspiring for. Whatever passion that you have will yield a lot of money if it's a good idea, if it's a good strategy or good execution. Success to me at this moment, man, as a parent and as a husband, just to give my kids what I didn't have. To wake up and be healthy and to live a long life. Like I said, 2020 has been by far, one of the darkest years that I've ever seen, just with the sadness and, people passing away and, just the sickness
I
going
literally call
around.
it the
A
dark
lot of
year.
people have been, yeah, this is like the darkest year I've ever seen. So, honestly, bro, being that I can be with my family, each and every day I give God thanks for being here because, again, people just take that for granted, man. Like I said, I lost my cousin, so I'm not taking life for granted at all. That's a wake up call for me.
Love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's super inspiring. Oh man.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's about the time that we have today, dude. I want to say once again, Malcolm, thank you so much for taking out some time to be able to not only talk to me but be able to talk to our viewers. I think that your story is super
Yeah,
inspiring.
absolutely, absolutely, man. The pleasure is mine. I love what you're doing, bro.
Thanks, man. Definitely trying step at a time.
Yeah,
We're gonna slowly become that show that you're gonna jump
yeah.
on years from now and go to millions of people with your
Yeah.
knowledge.
Let's hope so, man.
This isn't gonna be the last time, my friend. Love it.
Definitely, man.
Well, guys, once again, this is EarthShakers, and this is the Commotion. I'm Roshan Joshi. Today here with Malcolm Egun. If you like our content, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more guests like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And once again, everybody, stay blessed.
Absolutely. Peace.
Grinding my whole life. Stop that. Grinding my whole life.